Well, if you're wondering what's happening in the latest edition of Streamer Hunger Games, it is getting so real. So, on Destiny's stream, he's a YouTuber. I'll put the link to his stream in the comment section. He got hold of The Call, which is a call between Miskiff, XQC, Trainwrecks, Mitch Jones, and Barry. So Mitch Jones and Barry, and Asmond. Mitch Jones and Barry were actually at the house where the woman who's accusing Crazy Slick, who's Ariana Lee, was accusing Slick. They were at the house, like, right after, before she was about to do her twit longer. And basically, the argument was about whether or not Miskiff sent Maya and Mitch to the house to get her to downplay her statement, to put pressure on her to get her to downplay the statement. Now, Miskiff has been adamant that, Slick's my friend. He was about to get cancelled. I want to help my friend. So I sent them over to just talk to her to find out what happened, is what Miskiff is saying. But Miskiff said to go over to the house to sort it out, okay? To sort it out. So there's a discrepancy there between what Mitch is saying and what Miskiff's saying. And obviously, Mitch used to live at Miskiff's house, and they're very close. And Miz sort of helped Mitch out quite a bit. Before, I don't know if you know the story of Mitch Jones, but he's a really big WoW streamer back in the day, and Miskiff sort of looked up to him and idolized him a bit. And when Miskiff became bigger, because I know it's hard to explain, but Mitch used to be a really, really big streamer. He was really good friends with Wreckfall. They fell out, and then Miskiff kind of took Mitch under his wing and took care of him, and he was staying at his house, and I have respect for him because he's called the Rat. He looks a little bit like a rat. Anyway, they've got a really good friendship, and he feels like he's kind of damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, because if he tells the truth, it's kind of throwing Miskiff under the bus. But from what I can tell from Mitch Jones's stream as well, Miskiff sent them over to, he sent Maya specifically because she's got experience with sexual assault, and she's a woman. But from what it looks like, Miskiff was kind of the instructor telling them to go over to make this go away. Anyway, they discussed that in the call. They also discuss previous beef, which has now come to life. So, Alinity, I don't know if you know Alinity, she got a lot of hate on the internet. She threw a cat. She threw a cat, and she fed her cat alcohol on stream. And everyone wanted to cancel Alinity. And she's not had a good run of it on streams. Anyway, she was kind of on this redemption arc with Miskiff. Miskiff kind of took her under the wing, invited her to the house. She was staying at the house. And Trainwrecks kind of revealed a bit behind that and how he feels that whole move was motivated. Basically, Alinity now has accused Trainwrecks of being inappropriate many years ago. And Trainwreck said, when this accusation happened in the first place, those 4 years ago, I had receipts, documentation, and proof that she was lying, basically, that she was lying. So I hope Trainwrecks has kept those receipts because, there's some pretty heavy accusations that are going around. Anyway, Train said that the only reason Miskiff invited her to the house and kind of took over the wing is to have, dirt on Train. Because Miskiff knew that he had this smoking gun that could get him cancelled, his friend cancelled, all the other stuff. So he invited Alinity over as a calculated thing. Now, Miskiff has denied that. He's also said, we're friends, I just let her come into the house. Now, Asmond said that he didn't think it was a good idea for Alinity to be living there, and he was very against her moving in after going through what he went through with Trainwrecks many years ago in trying to prove his innocence. And he said specifically that he thinks that the reason why she's moving in is her plan is to introduce this allegation again to a new audience that don't know the history. Anyway, Alinity also went on the H3H3 podcast with Ethan, and then there's a whole thread about the accusation and all the other stuff. I mean, you could go and check out his podcast where he talks to Alinity. But Train says it just feels very calculated because I've come to you and brought all of this to light. You're now coming to me with like accusations from years ago that were kind of dealt with. And I feel like if a woman makes an accusation, you should believe her, but not blindly. You need to like look into the facts and check and make sure. So I'm really hoping that Trainwreck's kept his receipts. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm slightly biased. I'm a Trainwreck's TV fan. I'm not a massive Alinity fan, but I feel like given the situation, this all seems very calculated that it's coming out now. That it's kind of orchestrated by Hassan. Hassan's very close with H3H3 as well, and it just feels calculated. So yeah, I hope Train kept hold of all the receipts and all the evidence that he had for the initial allegation. Basically, I think it was a clip on live stream fails, but we're talking like 4 or 5 years ago, which caught her out in the light, and then he kind of used that to clear his name. So I hope that clip still exists. I hope it still exists. But yeah, I mean, like personally, not me, but like people that I know have been wrongfully accused of things like that, and it's horrifying. It's horrifying. It's terrifying. So yeah, make sure you keep your receipts. Anyway, the call is like an hour and a half long. But you really get to know the kind of background about these streamers and how how it's sort of this big hub. And also, it was revealed that Crazy Slick actually he actively stopped people from hanging out with Ariana Lee. So anytime, I think it's Adriana Lee. I've been saying it wrong. I apologize. Anytime she'd be invited to a party, she lives in Texas. Anytime she'd be invited on bigger streamers, shows, or to parties or stuff like that, he'd be actively texting those streamers saying, why are you hanging out with her? She triggers me, blah, 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 blah. And she displayed some of those tweets that Crazy Slick was saying out. So not only did he sexually assault her, which we found out that's even more. I think I said in the last video that he touched her chest, and then he said that he was checking for her pulse, whatever. Apparently, more has come to light that he did more stuff than that, chat. He did more things than that, apparently. So, and this isn't the first instance. A lot of other women are coming forward as well, saying how he's been inappropriate, things that he said, and it just seems to be like a serial form of behavior. So yeah, Crazy Slick is done at this point. There's no coming back. He's done. I think OTK is imploding as well. Emaru did a stream. If you don't know Emaru, she's one of the streamers with OTK. She said she's going to stay with OTK, but she feels like her trust has been betrayed by Crazy Slick. She used to talk to him, and she's had her own experience with that sort of situation. So it's just sort of, it's crazy right now. It's insane. I mean, it really is the stream of Hunger Games. Like, I would suggest you to watch Destiny's stream. He's really good at analyzing stuff, and he goes through the whole call. And there's some deep stuff going on there. I didn't know that there was this massive feud between Trainwrecks and Miskiff that's been going on for years. That it just seems like the Cold War, where they had the arms race thing. It feels like that. It's like, I've got this dirt on you, well, I've got this on you, well, I've got this on you, and it's sort of escalated to a point. Also, they were talking about Pokimane and how she's sort of the center of Twitch, and how she kind of is the kind of gatekeeper and orchestrator of everything, and she kind of decides who's in and who's out. And if you're out of favor with Pokimane, then they'll make your life really, really difficult, regardless of your viewership and your community, which is quite interesting. So yeah, Train called her out and just said, look, I've never fit into that group, and you know, she's actively come at me multiple times. So this time was an opportunity for the gambling stuff, but she's come at me multiple times for other things as well. And yeah, he was just saying like how it's a sort of a group of streamers that just don't like him, and that XQC's obviously friends with Trainwrecks, and he's kind of thrown in with that group, and now they've become the outside, even though they've got massive viewerships. But it seems like a calculated attack to bring down their viewership, which they kind of won, because I mean, gambling's going away in October, which is going to affect Trainwrecks' viewership. It's going to affect XQC's, maybe not as much, but because XQC hasn't been doing live stream gambling for as long as Trainwrecks. But yeah, man, man, it is crazy. Yeah, watch Destiny's thing. There's also some stuff on live stream fails as well, more that go into more detail. But basically, to summarize the news in this video, there was a really long call. It had all the people involved with it except the main characters. I think Maya should have been in the call, and Ariana Lee should have been in the call. These two people, because they're the two people that spoke, and like they spoke to each other. Like Miskiff sent Maya there to get her to downplay what happened. Was kind of what they got to in that conversation. Also, Miskiff was begging Trainwrecks to take down the tweet, the initial tweet, which was saying how Miskiff basically covered up the assault, because he's saying some people think that he committed sexual assault, and they're putting like news channels are saying that he was the perpetrator, and he's like, that's not what happened. Can you please take down the tweet? And Trainwrecks is like, no, this tweet is the catalyst of this whole thing. If I take down the tweet, then I lose my credibility, which is fair. And he's like, you know, you've got your whole army that don't want me on the platform, so I'm going to keep the tweet there. And it's like, I clarify it in a tweet underneath saying that you didn't sexually assault anyone, but you have been actively involved in covering up a sexual assault. And now we find out that, you know, it was sexual assault before, but it goes deeper. And he's been doing this to a lot of streamers. And yeah, it's crazy, man. Also actively trying to get her kind of unplatformed with other streamers. Like collaborations and stuff is super important for streamers. And yeah, just trying to kill her career, basically. And yeah, they were asking Miskiff if he knew about it. He's denied it. But Trainwreck says, I've got evidence here that, you know, that kind of insinuated that he did know about it, and that he was complicit in it. But, I mean, we'll see. I'm sure there's going to be even more drama to come. It's crazy. These top streamers, man. You think if you had the money, you have the fame, you have the clout, you have all these things, that it would be, you know, smooth sailing and we wouldn't have this. But apparently it just, more money, more problems, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's cray-cray right now. I'm going to keep watching. Stay tuned for the news. I'm sure there's going to be another one tomorrow. I'll catch you later. Peace.